Hi, my name is Megan and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to review my finances for the year 2021. The first thing I wanted to cover in this video is how much I owed, as well as how much I was able to eliminate within the year. The second thing I wanted to cover was how much I was able to save within the last quarter of the year. And lastly, I wanted to talk about my financial goals for the year 2022. If that is something you're interested in, please stay tuned. First things first, I'm fully aware that I am on the late freight with this video. I could give you 1,000 excuses of why that is, but I'm not even going to waste your time. So, if you have not seen my previous video, I just wanted to say again, Happy New Year. I hope that it was happy, peaceful, and safe. It is already February. Where did January go? I don't know. But this time is getting away from all of us, right? I also wanted to note here, thank you to my new subscribers. Like, what? Shout out to y'all. Like, I absolutely appreciate your support. Like, this whole YouTube thing is so weird. Like, I genuinely started this channel as a way to, hold myself accountable. So it's just so surreal to me that people are interested in what I'm doing and what I have to say or the content that I'm making. Like, that is crazy to me. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you have any suggestions for my channel, any videos you'd be interested in seeing, please don't hesitate. Please let me know what you're interested in. I'd appreciate your feedback. I won't keep you waiting any longer. Let's go ahead and get started. In my debt-free journey video, if you have not seen it, I'll go ahead and link it in the description box. In that video, I gave like a rough estimate of how much credit card debt I was in 2021. And I said in that video, I owed around like $9,000 in credit card debt, which was actually really close. At the top of 2021, I owed exactly $8,991.05. As of January 2022, I now owe $7,320.32. Can you believe? So in total, I've been able to eliminate $1,670. Absolutely amazing. Now, for some, that may not seem like a huge number or a huge feat to you, but to me, I'm so happy and I'm so proud of the progress that I've made. So let's go ahead and talk about how I was able to eliminate this debt. The first step that I took to start eliminating my debt was I had to stop adding to it. This may seem obvious to some, but it was not for me. It was not for me. I was stuck in an endless cycle of reducing it, then adding it back, reducing it, adding it back. And I know I'm not alone in that. I know that I'm not alone in that. But last year I got serious. I said, okay, enough is enough. We have to stop adding to this debt. There's no way I can eliminate it if I keep adding to it. You may be asking yourself, well, how did you do that? I stopped using my credit cards altogether. Yeah, I took them all out of my wallet, every single one of them. I banded them up and I tossed them into the drawer. I stopped using them because I noticed that when I had access to them, I used them. Plain and simple. And somehow I would find myself randomly at the mall just shopping. No rhyme or reason, just magically ended up at the mall and I'm putting stuff on my credit card. Nonsense. The second thing I did was I switched to cash and debit only purchasing. I told myself specifically, if I had to use my credit card to make this purchase, that meant I could not afford it. Now, I just want to put a disclaimer here because I know some of y'all are triggered. I know. I know. If I have to put it on my credit card, I can't afford it. I'm specifically talking about non-essential items, okay? I'm not talking about food. I'm not talking about bills. I'm not talking about anything you need for your livelihood, okay? I want to preface that. Non-essentials is what I'm referring to. Because truth be told, if you need your credit card for your livelihood, do you, boo? Take care of your responsibilities. Take care of yourself. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong. I'm just talking about non-essentials. I'm talking about going to the spa, putting it on my credit card. I'm talking about getting my nails done, putting it on the credit card. That stuff. It's not essential, okay? It's not essential, and it meant I couldn't afford it. So my second step to eliminating my debt began after I decided to stop adding. Once I stopped adding to my debt, my next focus was paying on time and paying what is owed. Now, this was not necessarily a problem for me per se, but I wanted to put it here just in case this is a problem for you. Let's start with pay your bills on time. It is so important that you pay your bills on time because this will affect your credit score. If you are already struggling to pay the minimum payment, it's even more imperative that you pay on time because if you don't, you will get hit with those fees. Okay? So for instance, if your minimum payment was, let's say, $30, the minute you don't make that payment on time, now your next statement is going to say you owe $45. They've added a $15 fee on top of your last minimum. You don't want that. To eliminate that, pay it on time. Do not do yourself a disservice. The second point here, that was 4. The second point here is to pay the minimum at the very least. The at the very least is the important part, okay, of this statement. At the very least. Now, I know this is going to upset the financial experts, the financial gurus, and I want to say I am not that. I'm not a financial expert. I'm not a financial guru. I only pay the minimum amount this entire year. Not a cent more, not a cent less. Only the minimum. Now, there is a caveat to only paying the minimum, and that is, over time, you will be paying more in interest because you are only paying the minimum. So I want to make that clear if you are unaware of that. But to be honest, if you barely have enough to pay your minimum payment on a monthly basis, just pay the minimum. Don't play yourself. Don't be out here trying to follow what these experts are saying. If that's all you have, pay the minimum at the very least. And eventually you will be able to then start to put more on your minimum payment, paying more to your minimum payment. And you will also get to a place where you're able to pay your monthly statement all in one. But if at this very moment you can only afford to pay the minimum, pay the minimum. And I really want to stress this point because, like I said, I only paid the minimum, and yet I was able to eliminate $1,700 of my credit card debt. Could I have paid more? Could I have eliminated more? Sure I could have. But the fact that I only paid the minimum and I was still able to see a difference in my debt, there's nothing you can tell me. The proof is in the pudding, okay? And I also want to say, just so that I have some transparency with you, I did feel discouraged throughout the year with feeling like I wasn't doing enough or I wasn't paying enough. But after I did the calculations, it was very clear to me I was making change. Slow, yes, but I did eliminate it. So I really hope that that is encouraging to you, because again, I recognize that that goes against the advice that is given by the experts. But I'm just telling you from a real standpoint. And I did what worked for me. Once I was able to stop accumulating more debt for myself, the next obvious choice was to start saving. So in this next portion, I'm going to talk to you about why I chose to save, as well as how I was able to save. And toward the end of this section, I'm going to count with you in real time how much I was able to save within the last quarter of this year. So let's get into it. When I really sat with the idea to save money, I had to do some reflecting. I really wanted to understand how I got into that debt to begin with. And stay with me here because you're probably like, well, what does this have to do with you saving money? I got into debt mainly because I was spending excessively on non-essential items. And I briefly kind of talked about this earlier, but I'm going to really come full circle here with this idea. Earlier, I talked about how I was spending excessively with my credit card. But truth be told, it wasn't just with my credit card. I had terrible spending habits, period. There were other areas of my life where I was also spending that was not necessarily going onto my credit card. One of the top ones for me was eating out. At one point in my life, and I'm talking about early 2021, I was eating out 3 times a day. You heard me right, 3 times a day. When I was on my way to work, I'd pick up breakfast at Chick-fil-A. Then on my lunch break, I'd pick up something to eat. Then on my way home from work, I didn't want to cook. I'd pick up something on the way home. Every single day, 3 times a day. Can you imagine how much money is that? We're not even including convenience store snacks, drinks, the little gum and things you pick up. We're not even talking about that. Crazy. So that was one of the first things I tackled for myself. I said, okay, this is crazy. There's no way I can save money if I'm doing this. So I cut my eating out to 1 time a week. Now that may seem drastic to you. I'm just showing you how much I was willing to sacrifice to save money, which initially was tough, obviously, because that forced me to cook and stop being lazy. But ultimately, it really helped me because not only was I saving money, but I gained a skill in cooking, and it really gave me room in my life to appreciate eating out, because when you eat out 3 times a day, it doesn't have the same essence it does when you only eat out once. It gave me room to appreciate when I eat out. So now, I can go pick up something I'm really craving. Like, so if I really want some wings that week, that's what I'm going to get. And when I get the wings, they taste fantastic. You know what I'm saying? Versus eating it all the time. And I'm like, wings again. I had wings yesterday, but I guess I'll have it today too. So that was the first thing that I cut out, and that made a huge difference. The second thing I did was I quit smoking. Yes, your girl used to smoke. I was a pack-a-day smoker. And the last time I purchased cigarettes, I think they were like 9 and some change, practically like $10. Let's say $10 to round up. So pack-a-day smoker, you do the math. And it was not easy. I'd smoked for 7 years. I don't even want to know how much I spent in those 7 years on cigarettes. I probably cry. But I did, and I know I'm not alone in that. So it was very imperative that I quit that habit as well if I really was serious about saving money. I will say, if you are interested in my story with how I quit and all that good stuff, I'd be thrilled to make a video about that, because let me tell you something. The withdrawals I had once I quit smoking were unreal. So if you too are a smoker and you've been wanting to quit, leave me a comment down below. I will do a video for you, because I do think that's a topic that needs to be discussed, and I'm willing to discuss it on my channel, because that was very much a part of my life at one point, and I'm on the other side of it. So yeah, let me know. So spending excessively on non-essentials was part of how I got my debt. The second part of it was not having money on hand when I needed it. So when I didn't have the money, I would just put it on my credit card. That led me to the understanding, okay, so this means I really need to save, for these moments. But my next question was, well, how am I going to save? Because up until this point, I hadn't really saved anything. Even though I made those adjustments in my lifestyle, I quit smoking. I started to only eat out one time a week. I was still at the point in my finances where I was not able to pay more than my minimum and save money. So that just lets you know how much I had overextended myself in my finances. And then I was shocked that I was living paycheck to paycheck. It was like, I don't know why that never clicked to me, but it didn't, and I'm not here to poke fun or make fun, but it's wild to look back in retrospect and be like, what was I thinking? So I knew this about myself. I knew at that moment in time, I was not capable to pay more as well as save. So again, like I said earlier, my objective was pay my bills on time and at the very least pay what is owed. So I did, and that gave me room left in my budget to save. What I did was, and this is not my rule, this is a pretty known financial rule. I'm sure if you Google it right now, you'll be able to find what it is I'm talking about. But I took it upon myself to use the 50-30-20 rule, which basically sums up to 50% of your income should be going toward your bills or expenses. 20% of it should be saved. And the 30% is supposed to be for your mad money. Mad money is what I call it, but it's basically whatever you want to spend it on. It's your prerogative money, right? If you want to go to the movies, if you want to eat out, that is what you'll use that 30% on. With every pay period and every paycheck, that is the rule I utilize, the 50-30-20. I would pay all of my expenses, then I would take 20% of the amount, save it, and whatever was left over is what I would use for whatever I wanted to use it for. And that greatly helped me to start saving money. Now, if you're saying to yourself, that sounds nice, but what's the catch? I promise you there is no catch. And as promised, I'm going to show you exactly how much money I was able to save in 1 quarter using the method that I just talked about. Let's get into it.